they will need to be ready from the get-go as Iowa faces a very tough schedule. They open with a Northern Illinois team that made the Orange Bowl last year, have to go to Iowa State. The Big Ten schedule's tough too as they face both Ohio State and Wisconsin in their crossover games. All but two of their FBS opponents played in a bowl game last season, and one of the two that didn't was Ohio State, which still went undefeated. And Kirk Ferentz, the Iowa head coach, joining us now. Coach, it was the offense that slowed you down last year. As you've watched that group in camp, how have you seen it come together?
Yeah, it's been a progression. Certainly, a couple of years ago we had Norm Parker and Ken O'Keefe as our coordinators for 13 straight years, so we went through a real change a year ago. Defensively, not quite as big a transition with Phil being on the staff, but with Greg coming in, a lot of learning personnel, and we had a lot of learning at our end with terminology and what have you. So I think we're further down the road, certainly from that standpoint, and I think our players are more mature now. We've got a little bit, maybe a little bit more firepower than we did a year ago.
Coach, you had some position coaching changes as well as the coordinators. What's the best thing about having coaching changes the last couple of years?
I don't know. I can't speak from experience because we went 13 years without a lot of change, and then all of a sudden the last 2 years we've had pretty much. And it's probably a natural thing, I guess, if you're somewhere 15 seasons. So it's been invigorating. We've got a lot of new ideas, and the meshing of the group I thought was really good in the spring, and that's what you're hoping to see. So, the leadership part of things with Greg and Phil, I think their systems are in place now, and guys like Jim Reed, Chris have come in, Chris White and Bobby Kenny have all been great additions, and Brian and LeVar a year ago. So everything's coming together. Really feel good about the way the guys are working, and the players seem really comfortable with the staff.
Coach, when you talk about new ideas, what are some of the new ideas that really show up in practice that you maybe weren't accustomed to doing in years past?
We fooled around with the tempo stuff in the spring. We've continued that, knowing that we can pull back or do as much or as little as we care to. But I think it's been good for our defense, and then just a lot of things, not only strategic things, but just program ideas, better ways or other ways of doing things that might be applicable to our situation.
Kirk, which position groups are the strength of this team?
I think right now certainly our tight ends. That's a group we feel pretty good about. The line's coming on. We still have some decisions to make, I think, there, but I think we got 4 guys we feel pretty good about. And a year ago we had no idea what our running back situation is. I think we feel we're a lot further down the road that way. And then flipping it over on defense, obviously having the 3 linebackers back, and I'd talk about those 3 guys just like I would pretty much all of our older guys, but our 3 backers and 2 running backs both had really good springs. They've practiced well in the camp, so they're setting good examples, and we expect them to play at a higher level than a year ago.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about the quarterback decision. You're going to have to make a decision there. What are going to be some of the keys to making that decision?
First of all, I think we're really pleased with all 3 players. They've improved, and we haven't been in a big hurry to make a decision, mainly because I think all 3 guys are inexperienced. We want to see what they do throughout camp, and we're in that teens 20 practice range right now, so we'll make a decision on that. The first guy is going to be the guy starting. We don't want him looking over his back, certainly, or over his see what's behind him. Just worry about playing, but we'll just see how it all plays out. But I'm pleased with the progress they're making. I think all 3 guys have done a good job of growing. They're better players than they were in the spring, and the big thing is moving our team, being consistent, and just making great decisions on the field.
What are the biggest things that need to happen for this to be a successful year, Kirk?
Well, we have to continue improving, and that's kind of been the history of our program. We've had good teams. Typically, they get better as the year goes on, so we have to continue to improve. With a lot of young players, I think that's realistic, and then beyond that, we've got to stay healthy, and then hopefully a couple good stories will emerge. And that's been the trademark of our best teams typically, and I think we have the potential for that right now. It's just a matter of how we handle the day-to-day right now. We got a lot of work ahead of us before we play that first game. And then certainly as the course of the season, a lot of things happen that some things you can't control, a lot of things you can't. So how can we react to those in a way that's going to benefit us?
Head coach of the Hawkeyes, Kirk Ferentz. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Great to have you guys here. Thank you.